Hello, and welcome to the Old Farm Bus Podcast. This is the back of the bus session.
Hello and welcome to the Old Farm Bus, back of the bus sessions. I've got a beautiful guest with me today. He's not just a beautiful guest, he's actually family. So I've never had a family member on here. He's my little cuz. It's Seth Mullan-Feroze. How are we doing, Seth?
Yeah, not bad, mate. How are you?
Mate, thank you so much for this, because I've really been looking forward to this podcast. When I put a little message out and asking if anybody wanted to be a guest, you were straight up on it. You were like, yeah I want this. Yeah. Why was that? Why did you want to get involved so quickly?
I suppose it's just, you know, obviously with me being a passionate moment, getting into fitness, just sort of, there's a lot of questions that people want answered and sort of things. And I've always been interested in podcasts anyway. And obviously,
is there any that spring to mind that you started on, or
any sort of podcast?
Yeah, that you go into. Who do you listen to?
So I mean, if we're talking about podcasts like True Geordie.
Yeah,
like I mentioned to you earlier, does a lot of football podcasts.
Tell me about him, man, because I've heard of him and everyone sort of goes on about him. Is he quite fun? Is it a comedy podcast as well?
No, so it's a bit of both. So there's two of them. There's True Geordie and a guy called Lawrence.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, so it's a serious podcast. It's really well filmed, stuff like that, and they do it with old school footballers. You know, Ian Wright, to mention one. And it's like a serious podcast, but with sort of comedy infused. So they had a few jokes now and here. And he's been going for a few years and he's doing really well. And that's definitely one of the first ones I started watching.
Is it like old football stories? Because footballers do have the best stories.
Yeah,
sometimes.
I mean, like, Alan Shearer went on.
Nice.
And he was talking about, you know, things when he met, like, Gaza.
Yeah,
example.
oh, mate, that must have been a whirlwind of an experience.
Definitely. And, like, he had Ian Wright on. Ian Wright's definitely, like, someone I look up to.
Yeah.
And Ian Wright was in tears. I mean, that shows a good podcast when you really open yourself up.
What is it about Ian Wright that you're into? Like, what?
I think, because obviously I've always been into football, and he actually only made it into football, into a professional career, when he was 22. I think he got his first contract, which is actually quite late.
That's really late.
Yeah, and
I'm only like 14, 15 into the proper teams and that. That's amazing.
He suffered a lot with racial abuse when he was younger, where he lived in London. And I think it's just how he comes across in general. He just comes across as a really decent, down-to-earth bloke, you know what I mean? Which is hard to find with people.
Funny, genuine, honest, all the things you want in a person. Definitely, you're like, he embodied it. That is very true.
Definitely.
What other, like, because you're really quite into your football, aren't you?
Yeah,
in general?
yeah, completely.
Like, who do you support?
Sheffield United.
How you been getting on at the minute?
Wank.
Yeah, I needed to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, if we looked at the start of the season and you know, we'd have thought, you know, we're in 8th or 9th now. At this point in the season, you'd think that's great. But it's just the fact that we were doing so well, and now we've sort of tailed off a bit. But it was going to happen, and everyone was putting us down to be relegated.
Yeah.
So in this position, it's still positive.
So you're in 8th on. Where are you now? Sorry,
I don't know. Well, I think we've gone below Spurs now, so I believe we're in 9th actually now.
Do you go and watch the matches with your mates then? Are you?
So I mean, I haven't been to as many this season as I went to last season, just because jobs I've had, I've been working weekends, shit like that.
Nice.
So I go to sort of, you know, just fair few a season sort of thing.
You got quite a good friendship circle where you are in Sheffield, like, yeah.
I used to.
A lot of mates.
No, so I used to. Then some of them turned out to be even knobheads, so
yeah.
Not anymore.
I suppose that's actually just started the conversation of, like, a part of your life, like hanging around with either the wrong sorts, or like, I know, like myself, we've been on massive journeys with people, substances, aggression, lots of starts to life that have bugged us. So can we go into that a little bit about maybe education? Like, when you were at school, how was that experience for you?
Yeah, school was shit, to say at least. Like, I mean, I was never really, like, there was select few teachers I liked, select few lessons I liked, PE being the main one.
Okay.
But school, I never really felt like I was concentrating. You know?
Were there any teachers that you can think of that were actual sort of like guides? And
yeah, completely. There was a teacher. He was a dance teacher, actually. So I did dance. Yeah.
I remember you doing
back in the
your
days.
breakdown, mate. You were brilliant.
Yeah,
you were actually brilliant.
Yeah, I look back now and I cringe, but I wasn't too bad for my age. But I had to have some time off school. We'll get into that later on. And there was a teacher called Mr. Selby, who was a dance teacher.
Okay.
And I came back too late that year, so I ended up not taking the GCSE.
Right.
So I didn't actually take the exam. I just helped him out with the lessons because I had nothing else to do. So, to put the music on and stuff like that. And I just thought he was brilliant. So he was really nice, but if you give him shit, he'd give you shit.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't give you shit like detention. He'd give you shit like, he'd say something about you.
Talk to you in a certain way.
He'd take the piss out of you.
Yeah,
I thought it was just a brilliant way to approach things.
Mate.
And he actually got in contact with me. What would have been probably like a year and a half ago through Instagram.
Seriously?
And he basically just asked me. I remember he fully requested me, and I just ignored it because I didn't know who it was. And then he messaged me, like, "Do you know who this is?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Mr. Selby." And I was like, "Oh, right, shit, hi." All right. And then we basically just got into conversation. He was like, "Hey, what are you up to?" And at that time, I was working as like a club promoter, and I was working in a gym, I think, one in Sheffield Town. And he basically got in touch with me, and I thought I was just. He didn't have to do that. I think it was a really nice thing to do.
These are the people in life that actually care. They're the people that should be teachers because they want the best for you, and they've not just stopped thinking about I've done my job now. That's their responsibility to sort out. It's like, I care about Seth. I wanted to know what he's up to. I love that, man.
And he wasn't beautiful. The fact that I wasn't even in his class as well. I was, but I wasn't actually taking anything. And it's not actually just me. He's done it to as well. I know a few people who did his dance class, and he's contacted them after, and
it's that those characteristics though, those people in life that education's this one system where they hurdle people in. Some do well, some don't, and they try and teach them in the same way. But then you've got certain people that sprout up and they're like, no, they're all individuals. They all need to be taught in a completely different approach. And like, you might not be somebody that can retain even though you are somebody that retains a lot of information, but you might not be somebody that just regurgitates it out. You actually you're more emotionally based on how you approach learning, or lots of different ways. And for those teachers, and it's not always their fault because they've got to hit their marks, haven't they? They've got to get the right grades and all this.
Exactly,
so it's a system that it's quite hard to be a part of. And I'm very lucky because my job, I go into schools, was going into schools before COVID, and dealing with people with my passion. So mine's poetry and writing, and I'd just go in and channel that. And I got to approach them all in a different, unique way.
Exactly,
That's the thing I like about you. Like, you seem to have found a passion now, and you're like, I'm channeling this. I'm going to run around. Like, this is what I want to do. And meeting the right sort of people in that. So when you were at school then, and it wasn't working for you, and you're having a rubbish time, was that when you started hanging around with the wrong crowd, so to speak, or getting into...
So I wasn't actually that popular in school in general.
Really? You started with somebody that would have been.
I wasn't. So I gained sort of popularity, as you call it, maybe a year after. But in school, I had sort of a select group of mates, and they weren't nasty people, to be fair. They were all right. I don't speak to all of them now, but I haven't got any particular problems with them now at all. You just sort of drift apart as you do. But they were fine. There was a few people at my school who weren't particularly nice. Maybe I wasn't particularly nice too as well.
Would you get into fights and things, or
not particularly fights? But I was quite an angry person. Don't know why. Just always.
Have you ever sprouted back to thinking like why that was?
I mean, I had sort of, school would put me with counsellors and things like that, and it was like they'd say the same thing. And I think just to delve onto another story about that. I actually had a counsellor as well who came to school who was sort of hired from the school, and he worked with different troubled kids, different schools in Sheffield, called Jonathan, and he was so amazing to me.
Really?
Yeah, he was brilliant. My mum saw him the other day actually.
Oh wow!
He said, "Say hi to Seth," which was nice. He was basically just, he'd sort of been through the same road as me, obviously a lot harder. I think he grew up in, I can't remember where he grew up now, but he didn't like school. He left school with no GCSEs, and when I met him, he was...
How old was he? But
he was middle-aged, so he's probably about 40, 45. And he was studying for his PhD when I met him. Wow. He's already got it, and it's just,
incredible.
And he was just brilliant, and he always put me on the right path. And when I was off school for a period of time where my mental health wasn't good, he actually came around to my house, so he went out of his way to come around to mine, and just talk to me. So I think friends at school, I had a sort of a small, close-knit group.
What sort of conversations would he give you then? Like, when he came round and, you clearly meant something to him and you wanted to help, what would he talk to you about?
So, really, it was like I had so many people saying like, why do you get angry, count to 3 and walk away? And I said,
why is that the first thing they say? It's like by the time you get to 2, you've just already smacked something.
Yeah, it's like I'm not I'm not standing there and counting and then walking away.
Yeah.
I want somebody to be real with me. And he every time I sort of spoke to me, he'd speak to me about real issues first. So he'd speak to me about how home life was, normal shit, and obviously my home life's pretty much been fine.
Yeah.
And he'd also just converse with me in a way of football.
Right, okay, yeah.
I think what he'd do is he'd get on a level with me into things I liked.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the, sort of for the closing bits of the therapy session, whatever one therapy be, you know what I mean? He'd delve into the deeper parts. So what he'd do is he'd get on my level, speak to me about things like, I'm there happy, and then he'd say, all right, so what's making you angry then? And he'd put me straight on the spot, and I'd be like, I don't know. And then I think that was a good way of going about it. Because
definitely.
He sort of connected. You could tell, he definitely had experience with a lot of kids who were like me.
Yeah,
and he was really good. Definitely.
And probably been that kid himself before. So
exactly. So it's coming off personal experiences.
Yeah, definitely. That's always the best way of dealing with it. 100%. Like if you face somebody that actually knows, somebody that can actually get on a level, it's so important because there's all these like sort of buzzwords and things people know to say and the count to 3 or just ideas. It's like you can't box people. You can't keep putting people in this angry camp. Right, how do you treat angry people? Give them this, like make them breathe or whatever. It's like you're Seth, you need to be spoken to in this certain way. You've got a background, a history, a reason.
Everyone's individual. Everyone needs to
I completely agree, man.
In a different way.
And have you found through life things that have worked for you specifically well, like with the anger or with those?
To be honest, no. I think I just sort of, as weird as I think I just grew up a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still not the best to this day, but it's just more of a fact where you do mature and things, and I've sort of taken the approach now by things don't bother me as much as they used to.
Yeah.
So I used to get bothered by small things, people saying stuff. No, I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah, just it brushes off your back. Yeah.
So I think nothing
being too attached to that.
Exactly. I think nothing in particular. It's just basic levels of maturity.
Yeah,
in general,
man. 100%.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm on a very similar level, mate. Like I've had really bad spells with mental health in lots of different avenues, and anger was one that particularly I really struggle with. Yeah, because you become like out of control, don't you? I don't know what I'm doing with my actions.
It's like an out of body emotion.
Yeah. It fully just channels in that way, and it's like, what am I doing? And if me was like watching myself on CCTV, I'd be like, just chill out, man. It's only
what are you doing? you're only playing FIFA.
Great example. Yeah, I suppose little moments. My mate Kane Ashmore has done one of these podcasts, and he's in quite a big band, Unknown Era, but we related on anger, and he just said like ways for him, he just took himself out of certain situations, being like, if it was FIFA, he just wouldn't play FIFA. Little moments like
exactly.
It's better to distance yourself, because he said like when the teacher would be like count to 3, breathe, when it got to 1, he was gone.
I mean, as well, like distance yourself from situations is definitely an aspect, but I'd say from people as well.
Yes, Matt, great shout.
Because there's select people who sort of want you to be angry, and they'll get you more angry on purpose.
Oh yeah, because it's fun to watch somebody just throw out.
Don't get me wrong, there's always sides of banter where it's like your mate gets annoyed and that's funny, but I think you need to have sort of just positive people around you in general.
My friend Zach Purdy from Zap Coaching, he was explaining to me the other day that it actually poisons you, anger. Like there's a hormone released, and it's actually toxic to the body. It poisons the blood. So like throughout time, if you are always that angry, stressed person, you're giving yourself toxins that can't be released. So it's literally poison.
Completely makes sense. Makes
I don't know enough about like the science behind it and the biology, but I'm sure it made sense when he said it. I was like, actually, after I feel that. After I've been through a spell of like extreme anger, I feel sick. I literally feel like ill from it.
Yeah, and you feel, well, you just don't feel yourself, do you? After especially. So I completely get that.
So in terms of that, when you were taking time off school then, Like, how bad did it get? Like, how far did the spiral of, like, depression or, like...
Yeah, so, but it started off, I used to smoke a stupid amount of weed. Which I don't anymore, and I haven't done for years. And especially, you know, with things like weed, it's... Especially if you're buying it, you know, not legally, not prescribed like you can in America, etc.
Yeah,
it's one of them where most times it is skunk.
You don't know what you get.
Yeah, you don't know what you get.
Yeah.
And I smoked it for probably a couple of years when I was about 15, 16, so my brain wasn't fully developed yet, which is definitely dangerous to someone. And I remember one time I went with my mate, he was from America, and he bought like a massive bong. I was so excited to try it. Tried it. And it just felt completely different. Like I remember, like I was seeing stuff, and I was like, "This isn't what weird."
Like sort of hallucinating.
Yeah, completely. Like I was seeing like tigers in the woods, and I was like,
"Wow,
what the fuck's happening?" It was weird. I was like, "This definitely is not weed." Do you know what I mean? There's no way. And then
was it like? Did you find out what it was?
No, but it was definitely like you know, like weed isn't necessarily a hallucinogenic.
It's got very mild. It has
very mild
qualities, but it's a very mild.
It's a very mild hallucinogenic. So, you don't see stuff like shit.
No, not a tiger in the woods.
It was mental.
Okay,
and then I remember. So this was. I was walking back from school with my friend. This was when I was 16, year 11.
Yeah.
And I remember I just sort of stopped and my sort of body just went, like, it was really weird. It was like my body just went somewhere else for like a minute. I came back and I was like, I wasn't even high.
Yeah.
And then I got really sort of nervous, ran home, and I was like, what the fuck's going on? And then over the night I just started getting anxiety, sort of sweats and stuff like that. And I didn't understand it because I'd never experienced anything like it before. And I was never I was always quite nervous, but I was never a particularly anxious kid, growing up.
Interesting here.
So I developed quite a bad state of anxiety, which obviously led to depression, major depression, at 16. So I basically stayed inside my house for about 2 months. I missed about 2 months of school.
No, not going outside at all.
I didn't go outside at all.
Wow. Okay.
And then after the 2 months, I started going out a bit. So I'd walk the dog around the block. And that was a massitive thing for me. That was like an accomplishment.
Wow, yeah.
Which is mental because I'd never experienced it like before. And I remember the first time I went to Tesco, I thought, like, I'm really proud of myself.
Wow.
Which is bizarre because it was like every time I'd go outside, I'd just instant panic attack.
And before that, you were just going out all the time,
smoking weed, drinking,
being with people. Wow. Okay.
Meeting people. Yeah.
Wow.
So it was completely different. And then sort of one experience was I said to my mum, I want to go back to school. Because people at school were saying stuff. I just wanted to go back to school and show my face. Went back to school, waited outside for my mate, panic attack straight away.
Okay, and what happened in the panic attack?
Yeah, it was weird because it was like I'd look at the floor, it was moving, my heart was going, I was sweating, I was panicking.
We should have spoke to each other way more. We've been through the same life together, man. Yeah, tell me.
It was just a shit time. And then I remember I went straight home and first thing I said to my mum was I'm home was I want to die.
Yeah,
it was horrible. I just sort of it was just shit. And then I built myself up and I kept walking outside, and then eventually I went back to school after probably about 2.5 to 3 months, and it was alright.
Just got back in with the flow of it. Were people weird around you?
Yeah, I mean, there were so many rumours. Like, one girl said, "How's your lung?" And I was like, "What?" Huh? She was like, "Apparently you have to have a lung removed." And I was like,
the things kids come out with, the things
what the
people
fuck?
like,
yeah, I was
it's literally Chinese whispers, and it just
completely
starts going
like
down to this.
How has it even got to that stage?
I thought you'd become a woman.
I thought you had sex change. No. And so I had about 2 mates who was like visiting me and stuff like that through the time. Who I still speak to one of them. One of them's still close mate to this day. His name's Khaled. And yeah, so basically what happened was I got back to school and then it was like, oh, I heard you got schizophrenia. I heard you had a lung transplant, whatever. And I was like, no, it's like, weed made me paranoid. That's all I really said. I didn't want to go into it because, especially at that stage, I mean, mental health awareness for males has come along a little bit now. But especially, when you're a kid, people don't get it.
So confusing.
Yeah. People just didn't get it. So I didn't want to go into it.
Yeah.
And just people were weird because they didn't understand it.
Unless it was them like few people that you mentioned about, like their mentors, like the guy that actually came around to your house, them teachers. Like, would you talk more openly to them about it?
Yeah, massive. I remember Jonathan, the guy I spoke about, when he came round to mine.
Yeah.
So we just had this chat for about an hour or so, hour or two. And he basically told me about a guy who he used to work with, who basically used to have full-on conversations with items and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it made me realise that I'm nowhere near that level. I'm actually quite lucky in the way that I'm not at that level and I haven't had traumatic experiences in my life.
Yeah.
So him coming around and speaking to me definitely helped, and I definitely opened more up to him. So there was only select few people. So it was like my mate Khaled, my mum, my dad, and then Jonathan, who I opened up to.
From what I'm listening to as well, you've got an incredibly sort of well-versed and good outlook at this.
Yeah,
like
completely.
It's when you were talking before, like you were 16, and the maturity you're showing of like how the brain development wasn't there, and you know that now, and you know that, like, I've got lots of friends that smoke weed, like, all over, and lots of older people, and they've got to a level in their life, the brain's formed, it's a escapism, they just enjoy it for whatever use.
Exactly.
But when you're young and like 15, 16, and I was trying it around that age, it's really dangerous. It can be
completely is,
so because your brain's developing, because all your hormones are sort of mixing, you don't know who you are, you're finding your identity, and basing that around with a substance is just too confusing at the time. It doesn't make sense. So what you've just said then is so important, and I'm going to snip that little bit out so people hear it. As we'll have the whole podcast up, but that is such a mature and just wise way of looking at it. I'm really impressed by that.
I suppose you've got to have sort of that outlook in life. I mean, even when I was sort of 15 and smoking weed, I was sort of just oblivious. And it takes a while to sort of learn these things. And, you know, smoking weed's fine. If your brain's developed and it is weed, whatever, a lot of people do it, as you said, an escapism. But I think knowing sort of the dangers of substance abuse when your brain is still developing and you are still trying to find your identity is... you know, an important thing, definitely.
And those people that like aren't honest with themselves, so they're taking it, and they'll be that age, 15, 16, maybe there's some 17-year-olds watching this, and they'll be like, but it is fine for me, I'm the one that can hold it. I am. And realistically, like I always say to my friends who are addicted to any substance, even if it's coffee or whatever, how's it fueling your life? Like, how are you doing financially? How are you doing mentally? How are your friendship circles? And if you ask all these questions and genuinely, deep down, honestly, everything's fine, keep doing it. It's fine. Keep going. But if it's not, if you're being honest with yourself, and when you think about your friendship circles or your mental health, and it's like, that's fine, but
just
it's not,
the aspects of life,
then you're lying to yourself, and that's the most important thing. If you lie to yourself, you're never going to get anywhere in life.
Exactly.
It's the key point. So when you were back home then, and literally 2 months not going out at all, what were you doing? Like, what was that like?
I was eating shit. I remember I gained quite a bit of weight.
How shit? Like,
just shit, like pizzas. I had an obsession with peanut M&Ms, I remember.
Oh, mate. I miss them. I've not had them for a while. I'm celiac, like I say, so little coating I can't have, but
they were brilliant.
Peanut M&Ms.
I was playing, just FIFA, watching.
I bet you got a good team together after a while. Were you playing like foot or
FUT? I think I was just sort of playing FIFA. I wasn't actually doing anything productive.
Yeah. So did school send you anything home, or
little bits here and there? I don't think they really give a fuck.
Yeah, they were just like,
they didn't really. They sent me bits of French homework, bits of English, bits of bobs now and again. That's about it. But I wasn't doing anything productive for definitely the first month, because I didn't really understand what was happening. I thought it'd pass without me doing anything. And I think mental health's one of those things is where you have to do something with your health. You have to go for it a lot of the time. And I wasn't, so I was just being unproductive, doing fuck all, and playing video games and shit.
Wow.
That's about it, right?
I mean, so you were feeling it out. You were like, this is going to pass. Like, it's just my mental health's dipped, but if I give myself a month off of nothingness, it's going to get back on the horizon.
Yeah, I thought I just need to chill.
Yeah.
Just chill.
But then did it exacerbate that? Did it start?
Massively.
Yeah, okay.
Massively.
Okay.
So,
interesting.
In terms of the actual paranoia, anxiety, stuff like that, it didn't exacerbate that per se. But what it did is in terms of sort of my depression, my low points, they would be from low to really low.
Yeah.
So I would, stay in bed all day.
Right. Could you get out of bed? Like, was it?
Some days, no.
Right.
I'd cry before I went to sleep.
Wow.
It was a low time. And I think it exacerbated that because being inside all the time, not getting fresh air. I wasn't exercising at the time. I wasn't doing any fitness or anything like that. It's not good for you. So it made me sort of worse in my mental state, definitely.
I'm honestly listening and looking at you like, I'm really proud, like genuinely, like of being that low and being to that side and knowing that there is a story after this and we'll get into it soon. But the fact that you were so tenacious and you built out of this is quite an astonishing accomplishment, because I have, like, obviously Auntie Rachel, your mum, has spoke to my mum, and like I didn't know what to do because I was fighting my own battles at the time. So she spoke about you at time, just saying like, have you spoke to Seth at all? I was like, well, I don't know who I am yet. Like, if I give you any advice, I'd be lying because I didn't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly, because I don't know myself.
Hearing you go through your own battles, your own demons, your own story, and doing it for yourself, it must feel quite, again, an accomplishment. It must feel, I guess, better than somebody else doing it for you.
I guess it does, because it's like I said before, taking those mini steps, walking. So I mean, dog round the block, then you go to Tesco, then I go to the park for 5 minutes. And those little steps, I remember I feeling really accomplished as I was doing them, which to most people who've not experienced anything like this, they wouldn't get. And I found that when I was telling people a lot.
I'm just thinking, like, you saying that, like, what made you want to do that though? Because when you get to like that horrible part of depression that I've tasted as well, and where you're just like, what is the point of anything? What was the little like catalyst to just go, do you know what, I need to do this, I need to get outside, I need to go again?
I didn't want to live my life like that. No one wants to sort of sit inside. I mean, obviously, I had my mum with me the whole time. I didn't have many friends, but I had a couple of close friends who would spur me on and sort of
come round, see and
I mean, like, come round for a fag, skipping school and come see me instead, sort of thing. So I didn't have many influences, but I had the ones I had were positive influences. So that definitely sort of spurred me on. So I won't take all the credit for it. Do you know what I mean?
But they're the moments of life. These are the beauty of life. And when you do get round to the other side of depression, or like, it comes in and out, and I don't think I've ever got eradicated it. I think you can have dips in life.
Yeah, completely.
But because like you have your friends, you have good family, or you have like a passion like the gym now, like it reminds you how good life can be and the importance of living on. Because I have had a lot of friends that have just opted out, and suicide is at its highest rates now. The statistics are disgusting, especially in young males.
Completely.
And I think I saw something say the other day that is like the highest reason of death in our country in young males. It's not cancer, it's not heart attack, it's opting out. So you were at the base of this. You were in them feelings of like, what is the point? May as well tune out.
I've had sort of stages. So even more recently in life, I've had really low stages. But what I'm able to do now, I've found, is just control them and know things are going to get better.
Just switching that back on.
So it's basically just sort of control and learn from past experiences. And try and find a positive point in a negative part of my life.
That's a good attitude.
Just find that small positive which makes me wanna.
Because that is such a hard thing to master.
Really hard.
That's so hard. But like you've just said, there's always an opportunity to find a goodness out of something.
Exactly. And I think the hardest bit is when you are depressed is you just want to think negatively about everything.
Yeah.
Like my girlfriend Anna, she says to me all the time, "You're so negative." I was like, "I fucking know." Like she'll say to me, like, "Do this." I'm like, when you are down, you feel so negative, and a hard part is finding that positive that makes you want to push on, basically.
On a really simple form, like, one day you could wake up and you've heard like the term like wrong side of the bed. But you can wake up, you can stub your toe, go to the bathroom, spill like stuff down you. And then you already, because your brain's started to go, this is going to be a bad day, this is going to be a bad. You go into it turns in a bad day. But there's so many opportunities in that day to turn it into a good day.
But you don't want to take them because you're already in that mindset.
Because you're in the mindset.
Exactly.
So like what we're getting into now, like, and what I feel people that have been through hell and keep going, basically, like you've got to that level of like, right, I really don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
You have to find tools. You have to find like spiritualism or not even spiritualism, but like a passion.
Passions keep you up. Yeah,
a new way of thinking is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so, what sort of things do you implement on a daily when that you feel your anger or you feel something negative coming in?
Just again, it's general positivity. So, for example, I listen to a lot of podcasts now.
Right. Okay. Yes. Great shout.
Yeah. One thing I did do is improve my sleep.
Yeah.
And I found that massively improved it. Just so instead of going to sleep at 3 and waking up at 2. And I'd go to sleep like, maybe around 12, 11, half 11, whatever. Wake up at 9, 8, 9, stuff like that. Get up. First thing I'll do in the day, we have been in lockdown, so it differs now, but the first thing I do today is get up, exercise, have my first meal.
That's a big one, in it. Exercise.
If I exercise in the morning, the rest of the day is so much better for me.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that.
It's massive. It helps me out so much. Have my first meal of the day. Look at shit like social media, what's happening in the world.
Just
that sort of
swipe.
Yeah, just finger movement for a few hours. Play a bit of cards.
Does that not like inhibit your mental health though? Do you know, like when I'm looking down, just endlessly scrolling, I can sometimes get a bit depressed with that.
Yeah, so I don't. I do go on my phone, but I don't go on my phone as much now. Mainly, what I do if I am on my phone is I listen to a lot of music and I watch a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I
fill in your mind.
Exactly. I don't go on social media as much unless I'm on the fitness page I've just started. But I don't want to just fill my mind as shit.
Yeah.
So I want to sort of
vacuous nothingness. Because that's what social media can be. Like, oh, he's having a go at I
want to look like him.
Things comparisons are massive in social media.
Yeah. I mean, social media is fine and I enjoy it, and what it has done is it created a massive output for people like yourself.
Yeah.
And it helps everyone. But there is huge negatives to it as well.
But what you're doing again, which is amazing, is finding the balance of two things. You're not like everyone goes, it's a terrible thing, it's a terrible. But you're actually going, stop doing that. Like always the nuance, like the grey areas in life. There's always. Everyone sees it as a black and a white, but it's like, no, you think of there's a balance with everything.
Yeah,
you got to look at both sides of the story.
Well, you do. I mean, if you're constant on social media and you're thinking of these, the negative things and not the positive outcomes of it, you're going to have a more negative mindset towards it. So, I mean, social media is going to be around.
Yeah.
And people say, it's constant thing of, going to delete Twitter, going to delete it. So, no, you're not.
And they have to. They do like a massive statement, like goodbye forever.
2 days later, it's like I've had my break. I'm all right. And it's like you're not going to delete it. So what you got to do is accept it. Accept there are negatives. Look at the positives.
And like what you've just said, like you're starting up a business for yourself. You're starting up a platform. You're looking at you utilising it for you. And I do now. I use it as a business platform, a social platform for me to promote myself, and then I just put it out there, have a little look and go away. And because I schedule all my posts, everyone thinks I'm constantly on it, but I leave it. I do it in the first day of the month, maybe 2 days, and it's absolutely harrowing how long I have to sit in front of the laptop.
Exactly.
But I do it for the whole month then, and I don't have to look at it again.
I think as well, like one thing, so it's quite interesting. I was working for a publication company.
Okay.
Before obviously all the lockdown started, I got made redundant. And then one thing that they did say is, so they work for some of the major UK newspapers. They own them.
Nice.
And is that how many more sales now they're getting? So what my job was to provide advertisements and stuff for businesses to market their service, need, whatever. And what they said is, it's getting to a point now where it's like only 20% are actually newspaper sales. 80% are getting the Google ads, they're getting Facebook ads, Instagram. And it showed me how much of a big thing social media is for marketing a business.
And I suppose this is why now, though, you've got to have a skeptical and curious mind, because there's so much clickbait out there now. There's so many things you look at, and it's
mate,
my friends will all come back to me, oh, that guy's a massive racist, or oh, that guy's like a whatever. And you look at the article they send you, and it's like, oh, mate, mate, that's really clickbaity though. It all
out of context.
Yeah. Or that's a massive thing at the minute.
Clipping things out of context and not providing context with it.
I agree.
Just saying that it's racist.
So having a skeptical mind in this world is so important, and being able to decipher between like good news, bad news, real news, not news.
It comes back to that having a negative, positive mindset.
Yeah.
You need to use the same for things you see and dictate whether you believe them or not. You know what I mean?
Think for yourself sort of attitude.
Yeah, exactly. Don't be a sheep.
Yeah, it's a great
That's it, really,
thing,
isn't it?
But it's always people like yourself that have been on roller coasters, been on journeys. You've seen all areas and avenues of what life can be, good and terrifying and terrible.
Yeah.
That come to this realization is like, you've just got to flow with it the best you can. You've just got to make the best out of these situations, but not get too attached to life itself, because it'll smash you about if you let it.
Completely.
So what was the moment then when you fell into gym and health? Like,
yeah, I mean, to be honest, so I started going to gym when I was like 16.
When I said gym, it sounded like a person. And when you met Jim,
yeah. So I started going to JYM.
Yeah, good shout.
At the age of sort of 16, I want to say. But that was just going to gym, trying to do weights, trying to look big, trying to get girls, shit like that, which is fine because it's excellent where a lot of people start. And my diet wasn't right, so I'd say in terms of properly getting into the gym and health and mindset and stuff like that.
Yeah,
mate, it's only been a few months. It's
brilliant.
Maybe January.
I had this guy funnily enough, from my gym that I go to.
Yeah.
He came the other day, and he's Callum Hyman. He's really into conspiracies and all that, but I love him.
I love that shit,
It's
mate.
thirsty conversation. I love talking about everything.
It's brilliant.
But he said a brilliant quote, and I'm going to butcher it now, but he said, you've got to go into the wrong thing to find the right thing.
I get it.
And perfect. He was like, first of all, it's for vanity purpose, or you're trying to like look good to girls, trying to be big.
Yeah.
But as soon as you start going more and more and more, it's like there's something extra here.
You develop further interest into it.
So
that is actually how most, if you look at bodybuilding interviews or fitness people, they go into saying, I want to look good. It's just for the vanity reasons, but there's a lot more to sort of the fitness industry.
The people at the top of the tier, though, the top of the tower, like Ronnie Coleman, for instance, who I listened to his podcast recently with Joe Rogan.
Yeah, it's good.
Incredible.
He says he's on. Did you hear what he said about 0.3% body fat?
Yeah,
that's physically impossible. Literally, that is physically
Let's be honest,
impossible.
Seth. Let's be honest. There's many things in that interview where it didn't make any sense.
He's not He's not like completely all there.
He's not a scientist. That's all I'm going to say.
Just so you all know, it's about, if you're under 3%, you're dead.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. Yeah.
He needed a pinch of salt with everything he was saying.
Yeah,
but
completely.
He was fantastic. Like, mental attitude towards it, and how he speaks is quite poetic and beautiful.
Yeah, completely true.
Again, from the start, he's always like, I started off and I was just big. I just wanted to be bigger.
Yeah, I mean, his genetics.
Genetics are massive. But later down the line, he won competitions. He was going to like certain areas. He was feeling a little bit like it was fake or something he was talking about, and the mental health or the mental aspect come through, and I found that fascinating.
Well, I quite enjoy it when these bodybuilders do go on to mental health, especially because they're when it's like a manly man sort of thing.
Yeah.
And they open up about mental health and stuff like that. I find it brilliant, and especially coming from a person.
All of them end up doing so, though. Do you know what I mean? All the best ones always go like
Tyson Fury.
Let's jump onto Tyson Fury though. Again, somebody who reached the top of the tower. Like, if you're a boxer, if you're a footballer, if you're a whatever sport you're in, the top of the top was winning the title, winning a belt, again, beating, was it Klitschko where he...
Beating Klitschko.
Oh, mate, stuff like that. But then, just realising how fake it is afterwards. All you've done is chase this title or chase something other. As soon as you get it, it's like, I've done life now.
Yeah, what else is there?
But then he gets to this level where he's like, the better aspects are like the connection, the community aspect, the love, and all these and hearing a massive 6'6" bloke who's just won a title talk about being kind and loving and compassionate.
Yeah, I mean, I could go into him all day.
What a hero, though.
What a hero. I mean, he has been the lows of the lows and the highs of the highs.
Yeah.
I mean, he is... What a guy.
Do you listen to his like motivational talks and things?
Yeah, so I mean, I follow him on all social media, so I watch all his videos. I like through lockdown, I've seen he's done with his wife, like home workouts.
I seen the one where the kids come in and he's like, bugger off, get out of here.
I just think he's just a class act. And I feel he's just one of those guys who's really down to earth, and he has got to that level, you know what I mean? He's doing a trilogy with Deontay Wilder. That's no small feat.
I'm a bit nervous. I think I
don't like the idea of a trilogy.
He's going to do well. Yeah.
I think
there's other fights in there at the minute.
Obviously, Joshua Fury's just been basically confirmed, hasn't it? And that's what everyone really wants to see. And I just think this trilogy is a bit... I think they should have gone with the double. You know, like Ruiz and Joshua did. I just think a trilogy might just be a bit more. It's like Fury's a better boxer.
Yeah,
he always was.
If Fury does in the second fight, just absolutely blow him over again. But they've not had two.
Yeah, they had two. So do you remember in the first one?
Of course they did. Yeah,
there was a draw.
Yeah, of course they did.
When was that? No. December 18,
the trilogy. Yeah. Sorry, yeah. I thought you meant they'd like gone for a trilogy like beforehand. Like,
no, yeah. So like,
no, I know what you're saying.
The first fight, they signed for 3, I think.
I remember it.
Yeah,
that was an exciting fight. He got absolutely robbed. He did get robbed.
It was that one punch for Wilder got him. It was like, oh, that.
Yeah. Oh, mate, and when he rose, like bloody the Undertaker.
Yeah. Oh, that was amazing, man.
That was incredible. Thank you for reminding me of that, because I'm like, that was such a good moment in my life.
I actually don't mind Wilder, and again, I've watched a few videos.
I like him as a person.
His mindset is good. He comes across well,
and honestly, like that right hand is disgusting.
I mean,
like,
let's ignore the fact he fights like someone drunk in Ripley.
Yeah,
swinging. But he is.
I think if Joshua took it on the chin, I don't think he'd come back up.
I don't. But I think Joshua beats him. But I think if Wilder gets one hit, but I think Fury beats everyone in heavyweight.
Why do you think? Where do you think his attitude come from, Fury? Like, do you know much about him?
No. So I mean, obviously, gypsy background.
Yeah.
I think it's just sort of a long line of fighters.
Yeah.
Like, he came from a family of fighters. His dad obviously used to fight. Have you seen his dad?
Yeah, his dad. Have you seen Mike Tyson? Mike Tyson. Yes.
Mental. Who calls out Mike Tyson?
I'll do ya. I'll do you now. If you come here, I'll be smashing your head against. And it's like, wow.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
But how good does Mike Tyson look now?
He looks insane. Like, I mean, not the biggest fan of Mike Tyson, have to be honest, but he looks mad. I mean, if he
have you listened to his podcast at all, though?
I stumbled upon the one he did with Joe Rogan, but I didn't listen to it all.
Well, he's got his own podcast. I think it's called Hotbox or something like that. Like, because he's got a farm, hasn't he, where he grows weed, like a weed farm. It's massive. He's made, I think, he's like multi millions of pounds with this.
He lost a lot of money, didn't he?
Yeah, he would have been close to like a billionaire apparently. And
then he went down to like a 2 million net worth.
Yeah.
Splashing.
He's him again. We're talking all these people, and his conscious thought and his like wisdom now from what he was before, and on his podcast, he's so different. And he like the way he describes, so different. And the way he describes that transformation and the moment he realised he was out of it, it was just like he got punched and knocked down. I think Jamie Foxx was explaining it recently.
Oh yeah.
But he got punched, knocked down, and he was back in the ring. Like he had like PTSD from when he got knocked in his last fight, and he was like, never again, I'm not doing it. And he got up and lived like on from that. Was very spiritual thinker.
I mean, to get to the top, to that level, you've got to have that mindset.
And he's done a lot of DMT.
And he's fucked in the head. He's not exactly well, is it? Do you know what I mean? But he looks great now.
I think he'll come back and have a comeback.
Well, he's meant to be doing it, but who would he fight? Like
Joe Frazier or Joe Frazier? Oh, shit, maybe.
But that. It'll
be a weird fight,
but it'll be
it's one of them fights that like it's this is a film, innit? This is like a Hollywood blockbuster.
The comeback, the return of the.
And it's all that. It's one of them films there. You watch it and you think this isn't real. Like, do you know Rocky's last film?
The last
one, where he got back in the ring at like 60, and he's had a good fight against this 20-year-old, and you're like, no, he wouldn't.
No way.
But this is happening in real life now.
Yeah, it's mental, but it will get views.
Yeah.
And whoever's promoting that,
I'll be watching it. I'll be there first.
I'll pay for that. That's fine. But whoever's promoting that, whichever company, will get a lot of fucking
lucky.
Like they will gain a lot of exposure. It's just a mad fact, especially because that attracts so many different generations.
Yeah,
because
everybody,
the middle-aged people who used to watch him,
and like the old like 60-year-olds will be saying to their kids, "You have to watch this." Like,
exactly.
There's no way.
Everyone knows about Mike Tyson. If you're into boxing, know Mike Tyson, Joe Fraser.
Well, we couldn't have boxing the way it is now without these huge archetypal figures of boxing.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, they put it on the map.
100%.
Most important thing. I've been really getting into UFC again recently.
I used to be in UFC, but now I'm more of a boxing fan. But I do watch the occasional fight. Like a few months ago, it was Dustin Poirier, Khabib.
Yeah,
Khabib's insane.
He's just a ridiculous athlete.
Warrior. Like.
The thing, like, what's got me into it though is because it was a YouTube. I was just doing like, do you know, when you've had a long day,
just browsing,
and you're like, I'm just gonna go on YouTube, chill out. And it was The Ultimate Fighter, the first. Have you seen The Ultimate Fighters?
I've seen him.
I watched the first episode ever, and I was just like, Dana White's a genius at making entertainment.
He's a genius.
It's like, it's just WWE, really, isn't it?
Yeah, Dana White is a genius.
Creating
very good.
That show put UFC where it is now. There would not be a UFC the way it is now without The Ultimate Fighters.
No way. Yeah, it is like a real fight in WWE, isn't it?
It was literally the EastEnders, but they just have a proper fight at the end of it. Yeah, they actually fight. But like all the little like drunken nights, it's Big Brother. They fuel them with alcohol, and then just like
he knows how to create what people want to see, isn't it? Like, it's brilliant.
People need that though. We like conflict, and we like gossip, and we like sort of like working out human dynamic, I suppose.
Yeah.
So they're looking at it and they're like, oh, that it fuels something extra in you. It's not just two people throwing down.
Yeah.
It's two people with a backstory, and that's what Conor McGregor does so perfectly.
Yeah, Conor McGregor's really good at marketing himself.
Yeah, that's it.
And probably has a good PR team as well.
Yeah.
But he's got this story, and people are attracted to a story.
Character.
Yeah, I mean, I watched a podcast with Eddie Hearn, who I really like, actually.
Yeah, I do.
And he was saying how
he gets a lot of bad rep.
He does, and I don't get it.
I like him.
Yeah,
I like him.
And he was basically saying, I think he gets a lot of bad rep because people say, because of his dad.
Yeah.
Say, whatever. But he was talking about how when a new fresh boxer comes in, they've got to have that story. He mentioned a boxer. I can't remember who it was, and he just said that they had no story. So they called him like boring as a nickname, and that was the line they went with, because they have to go with something. So they just went with like, not boring, but he's mysterious because he doesn't talk. And I found it interesting how they sort of create these stories. It is like WWE.
There was a UFC fighter who hated Joe Rogan because he exposed the truth of like, is it Chanel or Sonnen?
I can't remember. I know what you mean. I've seen
rubbish with the names now. I just love watching them throw down. But he was the best like trash talker in the UFC. Really funny American.
Yeah.
And Joe Rogan was just dissecting that. He was just like, oh, well, it's all smack talk, innit? They don't really mean this, this and that. And he went off on Joe Rogan because like, you're exposing the marketing, you're exposing all this. And I think it's okay to see it as you're watching a show. It's not all real. The moment like they're squaring up and they're screaming and they're doing all that, it's just to gain views and pay-per-views.
Believe it's all real. Like it's
doing a job. Part of the game.
It's doing TV. It's making good TV. And at the end of the day, you get what you want because you get them to see each other batter each other anyway.
Have you ever played Fight Night? Have you ever?
Oh my god, I'm praying for a new Fight Night.
Oh, it's
I've been wanting it for years. Eddie Hearn did actually. They've actually made a new game.
Right. Okay. Is it called Fight Night or?
No, it's shit. Well, it looks shit. I'm not trying to mean, but it looks shit. It's Ryan Rhodes. Do you know Ryan Rhodes?
Yeah.
From Sheffield.
Yeah.
He's from Sheffield. They've made a game. I can't remember what company it's with. But obviously they've just not got the budget of it. I don't know, because I've wanted a full Fight Night for years.
That's just interesting what we're talking about, because again, first of all, Fight Night was more, you get on the game, you just swing in, you're pressing these buttons. But as soon as you get into the story mode, like the story mode of Fight Night is so in depth. Like first he's been to prison, then he goes into like this world, he gets a girlfriend, and I think South Park do this quite cleverly. They're explaining what we're explaining in Tiger Woods Sport. It's about sex addiction and all these areas. It's a hilarious episode, but the kids are playing this game because it's all the backstory and they're swinging clubs at each other. And then when like it gets to like the proper Tiger Woods Sport, it's just him swinging and playing golf again, and the kids are like, "This is boring," so they go off golf.
It's that story. I mean, imagine what they could do with the game now, like with the graphics we've got now and stuff. It'd be amazing. But I play UFC.
Yeah, that is a good game. I miss FIFA, but like we were saying at the start of the podcast, like you gotta know what fuels you well, and it doesn't.
Does not fuel me well.
As soon as I've been losing 9-1,
it's like
to some
stop scoring
12-year-old somewhere,
and he messes like you're shit. Fuck off. But I mean, like I play a lot of COD at the moment.
I'd lost my best friend to COD.
Have you?
He's just—that's all he ever does now. It's like, I never see him anymore. It's like
I like
he's in the world.
I quite enjoy it. It's just a game that I don't know. I just quite enjoy.
Do you have quite a few escapisms then? Cause
I mean, exercise, massive one. Training in general.
Would you call exercise an escapism then?
For me, yeah.
Yeah.
Just purely with how it makes me feel and the differences in my mood. So say if I'm having a day where I'm feeling low and shit, I can go and train and the difference I feel after it, I would count as an escapism for me. And then playing games like COD, spending time with Anna.
Going walks and
I love going on walks.
Yeah, I've got into that so much.
I have to drag her out, but
really, what does she like to do? Just chill in and
fucking Netflix and shit.
But let's dive into that a bit though. The training, because are you hopefully gonna turn this into a business then? Is this where it's going?
It's very early days. I mean, there's a lot of avenues you can explore within the fitness industry in general. You can create a brand because there's a lot of supplement brands, clothing brands, fitness models.
The thing is though, you found a passion. You just found something that you're like, I love this. So
it doesn't matter if it's successful in the modern term or not. It's something I'm enjoying that's keeping me happy. Do you know what I mean? So it's just a passion.
But whatever avenue it is within that passion, if you can monetize it, what a world. You know what I mean? Like you found something extra. Like it's good to have passion, but if you can have that be your 9 to 5, so to speak,
that would be like unreal.
So you have looked at all these other like options with it and how you can turn it into that.
Yeah, I mean, I've always sort of followed fitness people, whether it be YouTube, Instagram, whatever. And just hearing them talk and hearing how they've marketed themselves and stuff like that. And I would consider myself fairly knowledgeable on the subject. And I mean, it's something that there's potential to do. But at the moment, I'm just doing it because I enjoy it. And if monetizing does come in the next few years, then...
It's just... Like you just said, like quite knowledgeable on it. It's just there's so many areas, isn't there, of like knowledge. Like you've got to know how to help people on their nutrition, and if they've got any like problems that they can't eat the certain substances or have the certain foods, like, and then you've got to know the mental side, like, because I do believe, like we've discussed, most people go into it through a thought of like, oh, I just want to look better. But later on, it's like, oh, it was the mental aspect.
It's how it makes me feel or them feel as well. Most people sort of learn that as they're doing it, kind of thing.
So have you had clients, so to speak, or have you had people?
No, I mean, I've not, because I did actually do a personal training course when I was 18.
Nice.
But so it was a level 2 and level 3. I only passed level 2. I think I was like ill for a week and they wouldn't let me complete level 3.
Really?
Yeah, it was a bit shit. But so I'm not actually qualified yet, so I don't want to be saying, charging people. So I've spoke to a few of my mates. I've given them workout plans to do. I've given them, dietary plans because I do a lot of research into it. So, and I say to I wouldn't expect any payment or anything.
Yeah.
I just do it because I want to see them succeed.
Yeah.
And then if they can, say he's helped me this way, word of mouth, I can do it for someone else. I just enjoy doing it.
What a beautiful starting point. What a great way of beginning. Like if it, like for me with music, if it's just for the love of it, like sheer love, and then suddenly it did. I slipped into a school one time, and then it kept like running on from there. But it was all a passion to start off. It was just like it helped me get rid of the thoughts that I was constantly
I just want to share sort of my passion, see if other people feel the same way. I mean, I've connected with a few people on Instagram. A few other fitness people and spoke to them about.
So some of the Instagram profiles you see, like, do you know that this diet plan is the diet plan of all diet plans?
Yes, bollocks.
Is it? Yeah.
It's
so
like
people, talk me through.
I mean, things like I put. It's whatever works for you.
Yeah.
And one thing that's been annoying me a lot recently is have you seen these like juices and coffees?
Yeah,
like,
I have.
Nutrilife.
Yeah.
Like if you
Herbalife.
Herbalife.
Yeah.
If you drink this for 6 days, you'll lose 20 kilograms.
Yeah,
that's not possible.
And that's not healthy as well.
No,
like if that ever happened to you,
it's the way that
something's
you get
going wrong.
Celebrities, influencers advocating this.
Yeah,
and it's ridiculous.
Aloe vera and this oil.
It's ridiculous. The only way to lose diet is to be in a calorie
because
deficit.
It's not a good. The attitude thing, what we're talking about, the mental aspect. Like if you just always want quick fixes and you want quick answers,
the quick fix.
Yeah, you're not building a true like substance, a true structure. No.
And it's not maintainable. You may lose a bit of weight, but that's not maintainable.
Mate, as soon as you see these crash diets or celebrities going on them, like you look a year later and they're just massive.
People don't
they
realise,
go worse than before.
You can eat good food on a diet.
Yeah.
I eat food I like.
Yeah.
And I'm cutting at the moment. I still lose weight. You can. It doesn't matter. You can eat food you enjoy and lose weight. You don't have to be eating ice cubes.
That's the problem.
That is literally what people do. It's ridiculous.
100%.
Yeah, go on.
Do you like with your diet then? Is it quite influencing calorie deficit and things?
Yeah.
Is that a big thing?
The main thing people don't understand is to lose weight, you have to be on a calorie deficit.
Yeah.
So you've got to be burning more calories than you're consuming.
How do you document that? How do you?
Yeah. So I use an app called MyFitnessPal.
Yeah, I've heard that one's good.
And there's like things like calorie maintenance calculators online. So you input, your weight, your height, your age, and they'll tell you your maintenance calories. And your maintenance calories is what you need to sort of stay at the same weight and just maintain your current body. And then your deficit. What I'd recommend, this is just me personally, I've gone about 500 calories down from my deficit.
Okay.
So my maintenance was like 2,600.
Yeah.
And I'm on about 2,100, which gives me a good amount. So I usually lose around £2 a week with that.
Just put that back on, sorry, matey. This is quite interesting for me because I know, I just find it fascinating. It's like a world I'm trying to learn more about at the minute, like my body and having a kid soon. I want to be a fit dad. I don't want to be like a fat dad, let myself go.
I mean, it's so much easier than people think because I obviously eat a high protein diet because I want to put a lot. Okay, so with muscle in general, I mean, I'm not claiming to be the Rock or anything.
Yeah.
I've done my research and what you want to do is if you want to maintain muscle mass and get them as much muscle mass as you can, is eat around 0.7 to a pound of grams of protein per pound of body fat. Right. Okay. So for me, that would be like, I think I'm about 179 pounds. So I want to be eating to 150 to 180 pounds a day of protein grams. Protein.
And is this for mainly muscle repair and growth? Or?
Yes. I mean, it's just. Especially like me, if you're cutting, so if you've done a bulk and then you're cutting down, to keep that muscle, because you're going to lose some muscle, because like I've lost loads of muscle, but you get it back. But to keep that bit of muscle, you want to make sure you've got enough protein,
fuel in it.
Yeah, exactly. And if you still train as well, I mean, supplements are great.
So, say you're talking to somebody now, you've just got a new client, and evidently that client is somebody who's very new to it, like got to a stage, maybe 36, let's say, got to a stage in life where they've just gone, you know what, I've looked at my body,
make a change.
I'm actually not happy with who I am and what I look like.
Yeah.
Do you know the calorie counting, the piecing bits together, it all comes quite confusing, or
definitely
people get flustered with it. What would be your best bit of advice to start you off and say, do you know what, look into this first, or just let's implement little bits?
To be fair, I think the best thing is it makes it so simple downloading the app.
The app's a good start in it.
On the app you can like search Tesco foods and whatever. I'd say if you really concentrated on it, depends what the goal is. It could be a calorie surplus, it could be to gain muscle mass, lose weight. Let's say lose weight. Let's
go. I'm going
Peter,
for fat dad in my head.
Wants to lose weight. So first thing is you want to sort of be weighing your food, and there's a lot of sort of variables which I'd replace where calories come in a lot of formats. And a lot of the time I found people don't realise how many calories they're having because a lot of the calories are liquid.
Yeah, oh mate, great shout.
So
like orange juice even.
I don't drink it.
So sugary.
So bad for you. So what I do is replace things. So like instead of milk, in my coffees and my protein shakes, whatever, I use almond milk.
Good shout, yeah.
Because I think almond milk per 330ml is like...
It's got barely any calories in it.
40 calories, and then
really?
Semi-skimmed is 100 something. It's a lot more. Instead of olive oil or sunflower oil, use spray.
This is really good advice. This is just finding replacements.
Finding substitutes which are less for you.
Yeah, I like this.
Drink water. It's an 8.
But like we were saying before, it's bloody annoying.
Weak bladder like mine.
All day.
Yeah.
Literally, like, I went on a walk with my mate yesterday. Yeah. We did 2 hours, I'm going to say. And I discovered loads of places in Ripley I've never been. It was so weird. I thought I was tripping out. I was like, I've never seen this. We had a flight path or something. There's like where little planes can go. I was like, Ripley. But he took me around. Places, but during this time, I think I had like 7 wheeze throughout. I just kept stopping every minute. I was like, and again. Yeah. But I'd had like 4 litres throughout that day.
Yeah, it's one of them where you just got to accept it.
There's always a byproduct.
Yeah. So, what I mean, the sort of basic info I'd give is stick to the basics. Make sure you count your calories, especially your liquids. Yeah. Try and find substitutes. It's easy to on. You got internet for everything now. You can search substitutes for milk, substitutes for whatever. And just one thing I would say is what I was guilty of when I first started losing weight is just staying away from the scales. Yeah. Because there's so many variables that can impact your weight. Yeah. Whether you've been to the toilet, whether you've eaten something a few hours ago, whether your food's digested, whether it's early morning, whether you've got extra water weight.
Yeah. Don't just keep chasing numbers.
I mean, because it would get me down when I'd wake up in the morning, say, and I would be on 84 kilograms, let's say, example. And then I'd have something to eat, and then on the night I'd be 85.2. And it'd be like, why have you gained? Because you've eaten.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you've got water weight.
Interestingly, like my mate Zach is a coach as well. Yeah. And I'm going to link you two up. It's so important networking in it, just meeting people in your field. Massively, literally in the field. But the one thing is, a lot of his clients clearly visibly look very different. Like they see the before and afters, but it'll say like one client will say, oh yeah, but I've not lost any on the scales. It's like, yeah, but how do you feel mentally? How do you look physically?
It's all about weight with a lot of people.
It's chasing them numbers. It's like when like money's good, like money can pay for the cool things you want, but if you're only looking at this number in your bank account, you're not going to focus on the good life. Yeah. I like a Kanye West lyric. He's like, money's not everything, but not having it is.
Yeah. And one thing I'd sort of suggest as well is progress takes time. Yeah. Consistency is key. That's the main thing. So say if you're on like a 12-week diet, for the first 2 to 4 weeks, you won't actually see any difference because what your body's doing is it's flustering out water weight. And
and toxins probably.
And toxins, exactly, and you won't be seeing that much difference.
You'll feel like absolute utter shit because
your maintenance, you're not eating that anymore.
And
you will be hungry.
And like for a lot of people, it's sugars as well, isn't it?
Oh, massively.
Just wrong, like fatty, sugary.
It's a 2 to 4 weeks detox. Yeah, you're pushing the shit out.
Let the body go through that because we underestimate how toxic sugar is in the diet and how dangerous it is. Like them before and after photos of seeing somebody on sugar, without sugar, the skin changes, the eye colour changes, the hair colour, everything changes. And we look at all these like cocaine, or we look at like weed or whatever, and then we're like, well, there's legal substances that are damaging people's lives horrifically.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, what I would put out there is, say if you are on a 12-week diet, for obviously genetics come into play, but person to person, I often find that 8 to 12 weeks is when you're going to start seeing real progress in your body. Yeah. So another bit of advice I'd give someone is what I've been guilty of myself: is stay away from looking at yourself in the mirror.
Yeah, good shout, man.
So I do where I look myself in the mirror and I'll judge how my chest looks or my triceps or whatever. Has my body lost this amount of fat? And it's like it's just consistency. It's just progress. And like you might be bored of your food. But, but you can still. The main thing I would push is you get all these celebrities like doing for a film, and they've eaten like I don't know, like quinoa and water, and it's like the push these diets. You can eat food you like, just eat it in moderation. That's it.
Just keep, like, if you want it to be like, let's talk to that 36-year-old fat dad.
Pizza.
But like, you want it. What they want is consistency, and the only way to keep consistency is if it is interesting to you, or if it is like enjoyable.
Exactly.
So it's going to be hard, and there's going to be areas where maybe having them fourth donut or having that like Mars bar's not the way. But there's so, like you keep saying, like there's so many alternative ways of getting calories that are good and tasty and enjoyable, and doing a little bit of extra exercise, finding something you enjoy. Like you don't have to go to the gym if you don't like it. You could get into a 6-a-side football team.
Well, cardio is one of the things where, like, a lot of people say, I don't want to go on a run. What I'd say with cardio is, I posted this on my Instagram recently, it's really hard actually, is I basically talk about cardio a lot, and sort of, there's so many variables of different things.
Yeah, that's it, man. It's just finding what works. Like you said it perfectly a minute ago. You're like, what works for you? Finding
what's maintainable, what works for you. I mean, one that I push quite a lot in terms of cardio is walking. People underestimate. So one thing that I'd push is your 10k steps. So a lot of people try and hit 10k steps a day, which is so good for you. And things like burning, that's something I wrote down, like completing your 10,000 steps per day. That actually burns between 2,200 and 3,500 extra calories a week.
Mate,
if you do that a day. And people underestimate.
That's a full day of eating.
Exactly. So people underestimate how much it does. It keeps your weight under control. It can boost your energy levels. So it can make your cardio fitter. And it also basically, people don't realise with walking, it improves your actually strength and flexibility.
That's a great. That's my big struggle at the minute.
Exactly.
Flexibility.
Oh God, I'm terrible. My flexibility.
I've done my ACL in my knee, so
I think I have to start mobility training. Before I weight train. Like, just doing stretches. I mean,
great shout.
Helps, But so cardio is just one of the things where it could be anything. Something's maintainable.
So what sort of avenues are you going to walk down with trying to shape this business? Like, have you thought of lots of ideas of where you want to push it, or?
No, I mean, at the moment, sort of, as I said, it's just a passion. And I post, on my Instagram, I post like little stuff, workout videos, tips. So I've posted like cardio tips, weight loss tips, that sort of thing. Like nothing too strict or anything like that, but maybe in the future I do want to concentrate on getting sort of a coaching qualification, so I think
the qualification, like that personal trainer the other day, Callum came and said you don't need it, but it just gives you the
recognition sort of way.
No, he was just literally like the why does he need a qualification? It was something to do with you get your insurances and stuff with it.
Exactly.
Like you need that little bit of paper just to say this, but you've already got the knowledge there.
It's just one of the things where if you are qualified, you've got all the legals. And
that's it.
In a better light. So probably my next step is to do one of them.
And then what about like networking with it? Have you been in touch with?
I've spoke to a few Instagram accounts that I've quite enjoyed the content, stuff like that. So some of the things that me had a little chats with them now and again.
What is it in a good Instagram account that you like? Is it the realness of it?
In my opinion, I mean, this fitness is one of the things where there's so many people doing it, and you do get a lot of shit on there, like crash diets.
Well, the thing is, it is such a competitive market.
Massively.
People are trying to be different. But the way of being different, like they look at what's worked and then done their own adaptation on it. So they're like, oh, crash diet, I'll do my own crash diet.
Yeah, and it's like they, there's a lot of trainers that say their way or the highway sort of.
I think
when I'm looking at an Instagram, obviously, don't get me wrong, my Instagram is not the best. It's something. It's a work in progress. But I think when I'm looking at one, I sort of judge it by, the realness,
honesty.
Just general honesty. Like, it's so important. I'm having a shit day today. I'm not going to train. I'm going to eat some ice cream. Fair enough.
Another
thing to get on with, diets is I'm quite an advocate of cheat days.
My mate's absolutely.
If you have a cheat day, let's say you want to have a Domino's every 2 weeks to a month. If you want to have one a month, one every 2 weeks, that's fine. Because studies have proven that people are more likely to continue their diet if they get a treat every couple of weeks.
Well, what happens, I feel, for a lot of people, do you know, if they don't allow themselves that at all, the one moment they do, when they have a cheat day, but they've told themselves they're not going to, they just fall off the back. They're like, oh, fuck it, may as well just go off now, because they're like, I had that little chocolate bar, I may as well have 20. And it sounds stupid when you say it, but people do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just about keeping things in moderation. Like, as I said, you know, if you are on a diet and lose
a healthy relationship with food.
Exactly. If you are on a diet and lose weight, you know, eat a chocolate bar.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I had, you know, Dame. Oh, I love Dame bars.
Yeah. Oh, mate.
I had one of them yesterday. It was amazing.
I remember them. I had one of them as a cake. Like, it had little bits on.
Oh,
yeah,
mate,
it was incredible.
So nice. Like, yeah, it's just the thing where if you like that thing, you can eat it. Keep in moderation. Track your calories and make sure you're not going over your mark.
I think that's so important what you're saying, and so good to have structure, because be it, you know, me from back in the day, I was quite a big kid and I built an unhealthy relationship up with food, and I've got an addictive personality.
Exactly the same.
So when I'd slip, you're not got a marker, so I'd have a bit of something, and then because I slipped, I felt bad, and then I go into like just a massive cycle of eating the wrong thing, and I probably had like maybe 100-calorie bar that I thought was bad, which had turned into like 1,000 calories.
Yeah, it's one of them where. Another thing important with diet is just finding like calorie dense foods. So foods you can eat a lot of, which don't have a lot of calories. Like a really good snack is popcorn.
Oh yeah, I love popcorn.
Popcorn's amazing.
Yeah,
you can eat like a bowl and it's like 200 calories.
Oh so wow, brilliant! And you think you've eaten loads. And
yeah. I mean, as you said, you know, before, like you've got an addictive personality. It's exactly the same with me. Like I've been addicted to so many shit things in my life, and it's one of them where. You have something, then you have more of it, and you have more of it. It's just about finding moderation.
What else is a nice snack, mate? Like, just I'm nicking some knowledge here.
I'd say, what do I use as a snack? Fruit. It's just like I love blueberries. I eat a lot of blueberries.
I like watermelon.
Watermelon's alright. I mean, fruit in general.
When I was travelling. In Thailand,
I remember when
you used to just like walk outside, and there was just people walking around and chopping it up, in a bag,
it's
mate.
Amazing.
Yeah,
but snacks in general, like I have, protein bars for night protein.
I can't. They don't do well with me.
Well, you can find ones
that work.
Like gluten-free ones and stuff like that. Obviously, fruit in general. If you're not trying to lose weight, a lot of people. If you're doing a diet, eat nuts, and they don't realize how many calories are in nuts. It's ridiculous.
They're good fats, though, aren't they? So, if we're talking calorie,
it depends what your goal is,
and it's so easy to overeat nuts.
Yeah, it's so Moorish.
And this isn't a euphemism.
But yeah, with like things like almonds and stuff. If you're bulking, it's a really good way to have that snack because. Good energy source, good fats. It'll give you that.
Just before I go training, I usually have full fat yogurt, honey, and nuts.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, but it tastes amazing. I look forward to that. It makes me want to go training.
But I think like I had a proper look, and I had like a few months ago, I had like a few almonds. I had like 10, and I've just eaten like 300 calories.
That's mad, isn't it? Yeah.
It's mental how many calories are in.
You don't know, I suppose that's just being equipped and being knowledgeable about what you're putting in.
Yeah, I mean, it's just finding...
Being unaware of the calories that you can consume sometimes.
It is, like, one thing I would say it was negative about dieting, it is time consuming. You know, weighing your food... tracking your food,
but so worth it.
Exactly.
Everything's got a byproduct, like what you were saying before, and you've got to allow that. You've got to think about what's the purpose.
Think about the end goal here, where you're going to get to, and shit like an extra 5 minutes a day. It's fine. It's nothing.
Meal planning. All you've got to replace is a little bit of scrolling that you've been doing all day.
Exactly.
Could be spent in a really active way or a productive way.
Yeah, completely. So that's the only bad thing. But as far as that, it's well worth it.
Where can people find you then, man? Because I know I've got another person coming at some point, and I best get some editing done.
I've got an Instagram account, so it's Seth_fit1.
Seth_fit1.
Yeah, I only sort of posted.
Do you bother with Facebook and that sort of?
No, I haven't got a Facebook account yet.
Twitter?
Not for my fitness, so it'd be pointless.
Okay, wicked. Well, anything you need to promote through me, man, just send it through and I'll send it out.
That's fine. If you want to check it out, no worries. It's just got tips on there, exercise tips and all that shit, really.
Matey. Well, Seth, genuinely, man, I don't think we've had like just a sit down hour.
It's been a while.
Hour and a bit chatting. It has been lovely, and I'm looking forward to seeing your progress and seeing your journey, because what a story, and what a great person to come out of it. And really, like, what I'm hearing from you, just want to help others. You've been through hell, you've been through that terrible side, and your goal is to enlighten other people through what you've been through. And you as a personal trainer is somebody I'd come to, as opposed to somebody that thinks they know it all, thinks they're completely the top of the tower, they've not really got a story. You've got so much more to offer me, and honesty. So I really respect that, man.
Thanks very much.
Guys, you've been a part of the Old Farm Bus back of the bus session, back of the bus sessions with my cousin Seth Mullan-Feroze. You know where to find him. We've discussed that before. Go check him out. Cheers. Peace out, guys. Peace, Seth.